So I'm going to be showing you some different ways that I make my wavy dreads. I'm still just practicing different ways to do them. Here I'm taking two double-ended. They've been waved previously, so they just needed a little bit of a touch-up, a little bit more definition. And I did realize later on in the video, doing two at a time like this, the way I am, is no different than doing just one at a time and twisting them, but there is a specific method to twisting them. You're going to twist both strands clockwise, like so both strands to the right, and then twist one over like the opposite way. So like you're going to twist both of them to the right and then cross over the right one to the left, if that makes sense. So that way, when you let go of the twist, it doesn't come unraveled, it stays twisted. That's for this process. If you're making just a twist braid in general. So yeah, really there's the only benefit I realized as to doing two is you get two done at once. And you'll see the results at the end. They do turn out gorgeous. But if you wanted less crimpy, you would add just more. Instead of two, you could add four, twist them, you could do the whole set if you want to. I've seen people do whole sets and twist them, and it makes them more wavy as opposed to crimpy. And then I take my kettle, which is pretty much the only thing I use it for, is for dreadlocks, and casserole dish made out of glass, which is the only thing I really use it for. Then make sure I added some red ones in here that needed to be touched up. Just make sure all your dreads are going to fit under the water, because my kettle doesn't necessarily fill the whole entire thing, and I don't feel like filling it and boiling the water twice. But yeah, just make sure everything is covered. And I take a rubber glove, thick rubber kind of kitchen cleaning glove, just to dab it around. It does not keep the heat away, so keep that in mind so you don't burn yourself. I have many times. Now I'm currently just wringing them out, and this was very hot, so keep in mind it doesn't keep the heat away. And then I'm just hanging it on a rack that you can't really see, and I'm doing the same thing with the green. I'm just squeezing out the hot water, and whatever elastics you used to keep the twists in are more than likely going to be melted and floating around in your casserole dish. Some people they do it right on the stove in a boiling pot, whatever the case may be. But I didn't feel like waiting for them to cool off. So hack number one for this, you can throw them in cold water. So just put them in cold water, swish them around, and honestly, it really doesn't take long for them to dry. I didn't even really wait for them to dry. I just, yet again, wrang them out. Now I can grab them by hand so I could get a better kind of grip on it. So I'm just going to wring them all out, and then as I'm doing that, I'm hanging them back up on that rack so I can get all of them out at the same time, and we'll see the results here in a second. But you're going to want to wait till the end where I show them off in the sunlight. So here they are. Now, this is what I mean here. This is, actually, I think this might be, yeah, this is the first one. So this single one really makes no difference in the level of wave or crimp you would doing, once, because you're still doing two strands at once. Just you're taking two double-ended. So if you're going to do technically 4 strands, I would twist like the 4 strands together, as opposed to this here where it's basically the same thing, just you get 2 done at once. So it cuts your time in half. And honestly, these ones turned out the prettiest. You will see at the very end, they turned out the most sleek looking and really, really nice crimp to them. And they all kind of had the exact same look. Now, this one is the one that tried to make a bit looser. And because the red ones and these were pre waved before and I'm waving them again, some of them didn't really turn out as I expected. The red was kind of, how do I explain it? Just matted in some spots. So I thought just twisting it again would fix that, but I was in a rush. And it's important if you're re-twisting them or re-waving them to twist them the same way they were originally twisted, or else you're going to end up with just a crimpy mess like this. So learn from my mistakes, do as I say, not as I do. Yeah, so these ones needed to be fixed and still have to be fixed, but that's fine. Trust the process. So here they all are, and away from the boiling water. I dip the ends in because the ends need to be straightened, but yeah, I'm going to do that with my straightener. So let's take a look at the results in the gorgeous lighting. So here are the 2 reds, the single red one, loose. Look how gorgeous these green ones are. So these are the ones that were basically single twisted. So 2-strand twist.